Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, we're going to have a presentation from Growing Literacy, Inspiring Achievement from Thomas Jefferson Elementary School. They will present the NJFLA and the encouragement song that the fifth graders have created. We're going to have Mrs. Holmes facilitate this presentation.
Good evening. It is with great professional and personal pride that I share with you this evening some great things that are happening in our schools, tonight focusing on Thomas Jefferson Elementary School. Growing literacy and inspiring achievement is what happens when people have an idea that is fully centered around students, people buy in, they support, the community comes together, and amazing things happen for our students. So I couldn't be more proud to introduce Ms. Stephanie Martucci, the interim principal of Thomas Jefferson, to acknowledge our wonderful students and the teachers that help them.
Good evening, Dr. Hibbs, members of the Board of Education, district administrators, staff, families, and community members. My name is Stephanie Martucci, and I'm proud to stand before you tonight as the interim principal of Thomas Jefferson Elementary School. Since stepping into this role just a brief time ago, I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the dedication and creativity that our staff and students bring into the building each day. The projects you will see tonight were built on collaboration, encouragement, and a genuine commitment to student success. The experts behind these ideas will be sharing with you their cross-curricular work in preparation for NJSLA testing and their vision of bringing the reading garden to life through connections, teamwork, and an overall shared goal for our school community. These projects truly reflect the purpose of education by empowering our students to grow in confidence and innovation throughout this process. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mrs. Katie Martin, our intervention specialist, to share TJ's amazing work in greater detail.
Good evening. My name is Mrs. Martin, and I am the intervention specialist at Thomas Jefferson Elementary School. I am here tonight alongside the incredible teachers and students of Thomas Jefferson to celebrate some of the meaningful work taking place in our building to strengthen literacy, inspire achievement, and foster creative collaboration and community service. To begin, I would like to highlight the outstanding work of our fifth grade students and teachers. Over the years, teachers across the district have implemented a writing strategy introduced during a professional development presentation by Renee Schellinger, who is widely known for his expertise in state test preparation. This strategy teaches students how to effectively use blank scrap paper on New Jersey SLA testing days to organize their writing. Students learn to create graphic organizers for tasks such as literary analysis and narrative writing prompts. By practicing how to recreate these organizers from memory, students are better equipped to structure their thoughts and communicate their ideas clearly and confidently. Year after year, the strategy has contributed to increased student success on the writing portion of the assessment across the district. At Thomas Jefferson, I've made it my mission to support our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers and students with this work, not simply to improve test scores, but to help develop strong, confident writers who can apply these skills across all content areas and in their future academic journeys. Throughout the year, I provide weekly lessons for our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students focused on 2 major writing types: the use of graphic organizers, strategies for unpacking writing prompts, and ways to transfer their thinking into organized written responses. Students repeatedly practice creating these organizers from memory on blank scrap paper, and as testing approaches, they challenge themselves to complete both organizers, one on each side of the paper, in under 3 minutes. Our classroom teachers reinforce and extend this work during the ELA block by applying these graphic organizers directly to the lessons and writing tasks embedded within our CKLA curriculum. The teachers at TJ and I have had a great deal of fun with this strategy over the past 2 years, but this year, our 5th grade team, Mr. Hamby, Mr. DeGennaro, Mrs. Sucky, and their students took it to an extremely new level. I strongly believe in whole brain teaching and learning and completed my thesis work on how song and movement increase student achievement. When teaching the organizers to the students, I often use hand motions to help remember each component of the writing structure. One day, while teaching alongside Mr. Hamby and demonstrating the movements, a student suggested that we turn the strategy into a song and a tic-tac style dance. Mr. Hamby and I brought the idea to Mr. Kona, our music teacher, and from there, the rest is history. Mr. Kona?
Me? All right. Evening. When I was first approached with this idea, I was very excited. I've always been a big proponent of interdisciplinary lesson planning. And I also find that when you give students creative control over their lessons, they reward you with enthusiasm. And there's no better creative outlet for our students than the arts program. Now, in the beginning, it was suggested to me that I simply take an already popular song and just have the students change the lyrics. I was having none of that. If Thomas Jefferson students were going to write a song, they were going to write the song. They've been learning all year about the creative process, so this was a perfect opportunity to put it into motion. They've been learning about how much you have to practice, how you have to be willing to share your ideas with everybody else. If you keep your ideas in your head, you're never going to be creative. They're learning the importance of editing, and most importantly, they're learning the importance of learning when things don't work out. So we would go through this process of, they would bring this knowledge to me because frankly, I didn't know much of it myself as I don't do literary analysis. They would bring it to me and we'd work on how to make it musical. And I'd start with 1 5th grade and we'd simply try out ideas and edit them and how we'd get rid of some ideas and change other ideas. And we'd record this into, if it was lyrics, onto a word software program or the Sibelius music software if it was a musical idea. And then we come to the next 5th grade class, they would listen to these ideas and either edit them or add to them. And we would follow this process until the song was completed. And they know that there's really only one thing that can stop them from being creative. And what is it?
Negativity.
Negativity. And what do we do to it?
Smash it like a bug.
We squash it like a bug. That is correct. So every note you hear in this music comes from their imagination and creativity. From the very first beat of the introduction to the final fade out at the end. I'm very proud of what they've achieved, and I'm very excited for you to see what our students can create with a strong arts program. Thank you.
Before sharing the song and video created, our 5th grade students would like to read an essay they wrote utilizing one of the organizers.
Have you ever written a hit song that was used for educational purposes? Well, while preparing for New Jersey state testing, Thomas Jefferson's 5th grade class composed a masterpiece to help memorize an essay structure. Songs and movement can help you understand information better and allow people to get excited about a certain topic.
First, music and movement can help you remember and understand information better. For example, with Mr. Kona, during each music class, all 3 5th grade classes shared their ideas to help with this wonderful song together. This is important because it proves that using the information from our essay organizers into a song we enjoyed helped us memorize the information in a fun way. Ms. Martin checked our scrap paper at the end of our writing testing day and said that every 5th grader made and used the graphic organizer to help write an essay or narrative story. In conclusion, the 5th grade students understood and applied the information a lot more thanks to the music and movements we created.
Second, by composing the song together, we got really excited to learn more about writing essays. For example, working together to create a dance to go with our song made it really exciting and fun. This shows that working together as a team allowed us to work with our friends and teachers in a fun way. In conclusion, writing essays is more enjoyable because now we have great memory of working together and creating a fun song.
As you can see, memorizing a lot of information can be difficult. Working as a team to come up with a fun song can be very beneficial. In conclusion, Thomas Jefferson composed a song to help us learn a lot of important things, while also getting excited about education at the same time.
It's now time for you to see the video and song that our 5th graders created with Mr. Kona.
So, let's recap, okay? We're talking about the literary analysis. It's what we're going to use for testing so you can write an essay. Let's
Topic, thesis or opinion, teak, restate and claim. Hook, topic, thesis or opinion, teak, restate and claim.
Oh, it really took your attention. I didn't even mention it could be a question or onomatopoeia. They just gotta see them. Topic is where you get your information at the title of a plot to your creation. Opinion or thesis, you just gotta see this. Break it into pieces, make it sweet like your Reese's.
Hook, topic, thesis or opinion, teak, restate and claim. Hook, topic, thesis or opinion, teak, restate and claim.
Teak, it's unique. It's so peak, it has what you seek.
The topic concerns with the entertainment.
The evidence instead you can't contain it.
Here comes your explanation.
It's the best creation in the nation.
3 to 4 sentences, then a conclusion.
Do it twice, it's your news resolution.
Hook, topic, thesis or opinion, teak, restate and claim. Hook, topic, thesis or opinion, teak, restate and claim.
The conclusion is a solution to the end of your story. Don't forget to put it in and you'll be blue like Dory. Restate and claim may hurt your brain, but if you do it, it'll up your game. So don't be lame.
Hook, topic, thesis or opinion, teak, restate and claim. Hook, topic, thesis or opinion, teak, restate and claim. Hook, topic, thesis or opinion, teak, restate and claim. Hook, topic, thesis or opinion, teak, restate and claim.
Let's give our 5th grade students and teaching team a well-deserved another round of applause for their hard work. The music video was even shared with our 3rd and 4th grade students on their writing testing days to energize and motivate them while also reminding them to apply the strategies they had practiced throughout the year. The students were absolutely right in believing this approach would help them succeed. As the school testing coordinator, I collected each student's scrap paper after the state test, and I was thrilled to see that every single piece of paper contained a completed organizer. It was a powerful reflection of the students' preparation, confidence, and commitment to the process. We are incredibly proud of the dedication and effort our students demonstrated, and we are excited to see their continued growth and success reflected in next year's writing results. At this time, I would like to turn the microphone over to my colleague, Rachel McCauley. Mrs. McCauley will now share another exciting way literacy has been blooming at Thomas Jefferson.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to share the Thomas Jefferson Reading Garden with you. I'm Rachel McCauley, one of the reading teachers at Thomas Jefferson Elementary, here on behalf of our BSI reading team and math. This project began as a simple idea inspired by the success of our annual literacy walk, where families read stories together throughout the school hallways. We began asking ourselves, how could we create a permanent literacy experience outdoors? One that would encourage reading, beautify our school grounds, and bring our community together. From that vision, the Thomas Jefferson Reading Garden and Book Trail was created. What makes this project especially meaningful is that it truly became a community effort. Students, staff, families, local businesses, and neighborhood organizations all contributed their time, talents, and donations to help bring the garden to life. From building the book trail displays and preparing the grounds, to creating student artwork and donating flowers, books, trees, and materials, this space reflects the collaboration and generosity of our entire community. The Reading Garden is designed to be more than just a garden. It's an outdoor learning space where students and families can read, explore, and connect. The book trail features pages from a picture book displayed along a walking path, with stories rotating throughout the year. Teachers are already using this space for literacy activities, and we have future plans to add sensory stations, weather tools, additional seating, and family literacy events. Most importantly, this project supports our goal of fostering a lifelong love of reading while creating a welcoming environment for our students and community. We are incredibly proud of what has been accomplished and grateful for the support that made it possible. Thank you for allowing us to share our reading garden with you tonight. At this time, I'd like to turn the microphone over to my colleague, Ms. Jen Natali, who will begin by sharing how the Green Club and Future X clubs contributed to our reading garden.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Natali. I'm the advisor of the TJ Green Club. I, along with my colleague Casey Bish, who is the advisor of the Future Acts Club, we decided to get our clubs together to collaborate to do something to improve TJ. And when we heard that the BSI team was looking to prepare this reading garden, we thought, what a perfect project. So I have Liam and Gabby here who are going to tell you about what we did.
So what we first did is we weeded and raked to get the garden ready for the new mulch, which the high school did.
Next, we painted rocks for the reading garden. Green Club painted 2 storybook characters, the Hungry Caterpillar and a dragonfly. Then Future Acts painted positive reading quotes, pictures with plants, and a ladybug.
As we brainstormed ways to create a permanent literacy walk, I shared the idea of creating a book trail similar to the beautiful one displayed in the park of my hometown of Winona. These podium-style structures display the pages of picture books and are updated monthly to reflect the seasons and holidays. Mrs. Holmes loved the idea and reached out to Mr. Mike Rapazzi. I don't think Mike's here, is he? He's our high school construction teacher, to see if he and his students will be interested in helping us build the structures. Not only did Mr. Rapazzi graciously agree, but he went above and beyond by using weather-resistant materials and upcycling old plexiglass barriers from COVID as the protective covers for the displays. He also enlisted the help of his colleague, Mr. Matt Persichetti, aka the fence guy, who installed the posts beneath each plaque. On April 22nd, these incredible teachers transformed Installation Day into a meaningful, hands-on learning experience for their students. The students were able to apply the skills they learned in class while also experiencing the importance of community service and contributing to something larger than themselves. Once the weeding and cleanup were complete, we knew the next step would be adding mulch to the garden beds and surrounding areas of the book trail. It was a huge undertaking and definitely a job that required many helping hands. During a conversation at lunch one day, my colleague, Mr. Eric Ring, suggested enlisting the help of the high school wrestling team. Thanks to Mr. Ring's leadership, this also became a memorable field trip experience. On May 5th, 33 high school wrestlers arrived ready to work in the reading garden. The students spent most of the day shoveling and spreading mulch, 21 yards to be exact. They also carefully laid landscape fabric to prevent weeds and hand-tilled the area around the Little Free Library. Their hard work, teamwork, and positive attitudes helped transform the space in just one day. At the end of the project, the students were rewarded with pizza, high fives from their proud coach, and hopefully the lasting satisfaction of knowing that they helped beautify our school community. One former TJ student, Billy Broadbelt, especially stood out that day, jokingly claiming responsibility for spreading 20 of the 21 yards himself. Billy will share a few words now about what it felt like to be part of such a meaningful day.
Hey. Hey everybody, good evening. My name is Billy Bravo. I was one of the wrestlers that was working on the project here, as you can see. And I just want to say it was a really great opportunity, especially to get the entire team together to work on something like this. It was truly amazing. And I don't just speak for myself right now, I speak for the entire team that it really does feel good to do something, a service for the entire community that everybody appreciates. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to turn the mic over to my colleague, Bill Hamby, who will be sharing how our STEM club contributed to our reading garden.
Hello. I am the advisor for the STEM club for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade at TJ. We actually have a couple of STEM alumni up here. Danny, Liam, Gabby, they've all been in STEM club at least 1 or 2 years. And when I heard that the Future Acts Club and the Green Club was getting involved, but the STEM Club wasn't involved, I was like, no. I went right down and I said, how can we help? I'm a big proponent of literacy, reading books for fun, for learning, for all those types of things. And I really wanted to get other students involved, and I wanted to get involved because I love reading. So we also brought Danny, another broad belt, up to let you know what STEM Club worked on for the reading garden.
We started off this year working on a few projects like helicopters, slime, and Mr. Hamby told us we're gonna work on the reading garden. We started off with scrap cans, painted them, strung them, and then made them into beautiful wind chimes that now sit on the trees at the reading garden.
We would also like to recognize the important role that Margaret Hagan Library played in helping bring our reading garden to life. Through their generous donation of a little free library, our school community now has a special place where teachers, students, and neighborhood families can share and borrow books throughout the year. On May 14th, we proudly celebrated the grand opening of the Reading Garden. Students from the various clubs involved in the project attended, alongside teachers, community members, and volunteers who generously donated their time, talents, and resources to make this vision a reality. It was a wonderful day celebrating literacy, community, and collaboration. We invite all of you to visit the Reading Garden the next time you're in the Thomas Jefferson neighborhood, take a walk along the book trail, share or borrow a book from our little free library, explore what's blooming in the garden, or simply relax and enjoy a peaceful place to read. We are excited to continue watching our garden grow for years to come. Thank you.
It is now our honor to present to all of those involved a certificate for their participation. Once again, we couldn't be more proud of the whole community involvement that made this come together. We're so proud of each of you. Thank you, students, for coming up here and talking. It's very scary to be up here, and you all did a beautiful job. So we'll start calling up now. Congratulations. It says certificate of participation for participating in the NJSLA encouragement song. Your performance reflected school spirit, teamwork, and excellence. We are grateful for your contribution to our school community. First, Skylar Burks. Lucian Daywalt. Abigail Emma. Sloan Gaffney. Gabriella Garon. Blair Locantor. Sophia, oh man, I knew I was going to get Sophia Mazajewski. Help me, Sophia. Mastuszewski, thank you very much. Mastuszewski. She couldn't be here tonight, and I apologize to you, Sophia. Congratulations. Liam Ritzinger. Santino Sebastiano. Evelyn Shanline. Kayla Simmons. And significant certificate of recognition for helping to create Thomas Jefferson's Reading Garden. Your efforts helped build a special place where students can read, learn, imagine, and grow together. Thank you for helping make our school more beautiful and inspiring to everyone. To Mr. Billy Broadbelt. Okay. And for helping to create Thomas Jefferson's Reading Garden, this one goes to Daniel Broadbelt. Liam McAndrews. Gabby Guerin. And we'd also like to recognize the big people too. So first, we'd like to recognize the entire staff of Thomas Jefferson Elementary School in recognition of your dedication, creativity, and support in helping the students create the reading garden at Thomas Jefferson Elementary School. Your guidance helped to cultivate a welcoming place where imagination, learning, and a love of reading can grow for years to come. We thank you for enriching the educational experience for our students and helping our school bloom with learning. Congratulations. We'd also like to acknowledge the Future Acts Club, the Green Club, and the STEM Club for their contributions to the garden as well. This one? Oh. Oh, and there's one for the entire staff. Thank you again for all of your support to make this dream come to reality, and I really hope everyone does come and enjoy the garden. I had the opportunity to walk through. It's an emotional experience because of all the love that went into it and all the hands that put it together. You can just feel it when you're there. It's a really special place. Thank you, guys.
Thank you to all the staff and students for all that you did with the presentation. And I love your t-shirts. They're beautiful. But thank you. I'll give you some time if some of you want to leave. If you
Just
want
real
to
quick,
stay,
it was
that's
a
fine.
wonderful event to witness when the garden was presented. And I was like very fortunate to be able to witness it. So thank you for everything you all do. You're amazing, all of you.
Do you want to? So, you guys were wonderful. Great job. It was such an enormous lift that you did, and so many people. So let's give them one more round of applause, everybody. Good job. For the adults that had the vision to make that happen, thank you. And the explanation of negativity is one that I'm totally stealing from you. That is wonderful. Squash it like a bug. We could use a lot of that. That's great. So we want to get pictures. So if, Kev, you want to take them out there? All right, so TJ, you're going that way. Great job, everybody.
So it's something we have to vote on, right? Yeah.
If they want, or you can do it in June. Yeah, so either you can discuss it then and vote in June, or you can just discuss and vote now.
Just discuss and vote.
And get it done, yeah. I mean, it's a rising healthcare cost. On C1, I was telling her you can discuss and then you can vote on it, or you can wait till June, but I mean, it's something that when you pull it up.
Where did that, I saw that, where did it come from? Is that something from like the School Boards Association?
Janine, where did that come from?
The resolution about the healthcare costs.
School boards, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, school boards. Yes. So if we pull it up, I think we get that from,
Did we already send
it's New Jersey School Boards Association. No, it's right here. State of New Jersey continue to suffer undergoing. I don't know who sent that originally.
I think we heard about it. When we went to one of the school board dinners.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It came from Lori Bambo.
Yeah, it was when we were at that dinner.
Yeah.
And it's just calling on our elected officials to
Right.
try to address the issue.
Oh my God, you have to read the cutest little book. Good night, Sam. She got right down here with them. There's 1 + 5 and +4.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to move on to discussion items. That's under C. We have a resolution that we were told about. Julie, wasn't that at the meeting that we went to for New Jersey school boards when we did the Teacher of the Year? And it's something that we talked to Dr. Hibbs, and we decided to pursue sending it because of the high cost of health care that we're facing in this district and all across the state. Has everybody had time to read that? Dr. Hibbs?
Oh, yeah. So the long and short of this resolution, sorry. Can you hear me now, right? This resolution really focuses on the fact that health benefits are just far exceeding our ability to raise the levy to match health benefits. You know, across the state, we are seeing enormous increases. The state health benefits, I think, was almost in the 30% range, Janine? State health benefits. So, and it's really, it's an unstoppable train that's happening right now. And this resolution really, you know, memorializes the concerns that we have with that. And our employees deserve incredible benefits, but there has to be something that is done on a broader level to ensure that these increases just aren't coming at the rate that they are. It really is a massive concern. And I think that's really, and you know, Julie and Pat were driving forces in this for sure. And I think that it's a great conversation piece for the board members, you know, and really to talk about if you want to adopt this resolution, it's easily done. It's your time to talk.
Does anybody have any questions or discussion? Sure.
I think it's pretty much the resolution they provided us, but just for the public, it's asking for some of these folks to have conversations about these things. But I'm just going to put it into the way that I explain it to people as these companies are subsidizing their overhead to you as a taxpayer, right? So they're saying, we're just going to increase these insurance rates and let taxpayers pay for it. So that's like the heart of the problem, I guess, to like distill it down, that we'd have to be very, very aware, especially in this economy, of private companies subsidizing their costs with tax money, and that's what's happening. So that's why I think this is an important resolution to pass and to continue to follow up on.
And Julie, just to piggyback on top of that, Janine, can you just take a second and talk about, you know, one of the things that was included in this budget was approximately the 4%, you know, increase that came just from this.
Yeah. Yes, so as Dr. Hibbs mentioned, state health benefits went up around 30%. Ours was much lower than that. Thankfully, we're not in the state health benefits, but one of the things that are allowed in the budget, because as you can imagine, if we're only allowed a 2% increase in tax revenue, how can you afford a 30% increase in healthcare costs? So one of the things that's allowed is to increase up to the state health benefits percentage between the 2% and whatever that is. So like I said, we were much lower, but we added to the tax levy that difference between what a 2% increase would be and what our district actually sustains. So something definitely has to be done. I know a lot of times we talk about state aid and how we don't get enough aid on the revenue side, but really what drives a lot of the, the deficits that we have is that the increases on the expense side of the budget far outweigh any new revenue that we can get. So, we just have to start tackling these issues on the expense side as well as try to get more state aid.
Okay, I did it incorrectly. I should have had a motion to discuss it, but we already discussed it. So does anybody else have any discussion with that?
I have a question. Do
Sure.
the state legislators know that this is coming down the pipeline? Are they aware?
Yeah.
They were at
No, go on.
when it was reported out, when New Jersey school boards, when Jonathan Pushman's office reported it out to us, they said they had talked to the assembly about it. So we didn't reach out to anybody, but at that level they did.
And separate of this, there seems to be a growing desire to talk about changes to the funding formula, which everyone has talked about for years. But I think it's really coming to a point now where they realize something has to change, because you can't just rely on a 2% property tax, which property taxes are high anyway, and expect everything else to be considerably higher than 2% and still survive.
So I just had one thing to add. This is my professional background, so obviously I'm very passionate about this topic. I think it's really important that we protect our employees' access to really robust benefits, but I do think there are things, not only as we state in this resolution, that absolutely need to happen at the state and county level, but there are opportunities that we have as a district, I think, to really focus on how we can address some of these ongoing costs, because I think sometimes when problems are layered and complex like this, it can be really difficult to make real progress. But I think there are opportunities for us to make impactful changes that protect the employees as well as protect our taxpayers, because to Julie's point, we shouldn't just the only lever to pull to pass these costs directly onto property taxes isn't sustainable for anyone.
Okay, anybody else? Well, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a motion to discuss the second item. It's not a voted on item right now, since we already discussed the first one. Did I have a motion?
Motion to approve the resolution for rising healthcare costs.
Okay. All right, so we'll go with that, with the vote for that first. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Mrs. Clancy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hartong?
Yes.
Ms. Kazempo?
Yes.
Mr. LaLiberty?
No.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mrs. Schechter?
Yes.
Mr. Serrano?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes. Okay, we also have on here the review of the federal funds, but we're not voting on that. Could I have a motion to discuss that? Oh, the motion passed, the first one.
I think we can just discuss it, right?
All right, we can just discuss that.
I can start, and you can jump in as needed. So we had a massive massive audit going across all of our entitlement grants. That's Title I, Title IIA, Title III, Title III Immigrant, Title IVA, IDEA, and also Perkins. And we will be voting on the corrective action plan that comes up later on in finance, but I wanted to talk about the two findings that we had and what they specifically were. So the first one, and I not to leave this part out, it was actually a great learning process. I want to publicly say a huge thank you to everybody involved, especially to Gretchen, who did an amazing job in handling all of this before she left us, sadly. But she did an amazing job. So there was really only two areas in the entire audit that we had to have, and honestly, they were very easily fixable. So the first one was through IDEA, we do some community-based field trips. We just simply had to upload the receipts for the second half of the year. They wanted us to do that, which is absolutely not a problem. Janine can upload those, coming out of special ed. It was really, I think it was about $7,000, and it was broken into $3,500 and $3,500, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And what was a little bit different about this monitoring is that it's our current, the grants that we have for 25, 26. So it was every single federal grant. There was numerous monitors, and these expenses in particular last the whole year. So the monitors got to look at the receipts for anything that took place up to that point, but then we still had some money left in that budget for future trips. So as the year winds down and we finish up with all the trips, that we have to upload the remaining receipts and documentation for the monitors to look at.
Great job. The second one that we had really had to do with policies, and they wanted us to have language in there that addressed the uniform grant guidance requirements, and this must have been an issue across the state because Strauss Esme, who was our policy company that we use and utilize, in their latest policy alert, which just came in, they addressed all of these. So we called just to make sure, and they said yes, they've had contact from the entitlement grants, and that their language that they've supplied will address that. So we double checked it. So that will flow through the policy committee to the full board, and that will address the two findings that we had in probably one of the biggest audits we could have as a school district. Any questions?
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to clarify. So we put it under discussion items because one of the requirements is within 30 days of getting the report, we have to discuss publicly. There is an action item that's under finance, and it's just what we discussed right now about the two findings. There's a specific document that we have to fill out and send back. So there is an action item, and it's under finance, and it's number 38, and it just explains the two items that we just talked about.
And the plan to address, which is to upload receipts and update the policies.
Right.
Okay, we're going to move on to school and community relations. We're going to start with our student board member, Gianna Caving.
Thank you. Good evening and happy National Blueberry Cheesecake Day. On Tuesday, May 5th, the superintendent's cabinet members from Orchard Valley Middle School, Bunker Hill Middle School, Chestnut Ridge Middle School, and Washington Township High School attended a productive and beneficial meeting at the Eileen Abbott Central Administration Building. Students collaboratively proposed ideas on how we can be better students, what things get in the way, and what things can help us be better. The students then wrote those ideas down on sticky notes at their last meeting and sorted them into 3 different categories. Once the meeting was held with the students from all 4 schools, we carefully and thoughtfully sifted through those thoughts and ideas and collaboratively replaced them into different categories according to where they most appropriately fit. The goal of this activity was to work together with kids from all different levels to identify things that can make learning difficult and find a resolution to those problems. The Washington Township High School boys lacrosse team secured their first ever South Jersey Interscholastic Lacrosse League American Division Championship with an intense 6-5 victory over Kingsway, marking the team's first conference title in 15 years. Since moving conferences in 2023, Washington Township has continued to rise, now earning its first top 20 state ranking from NJ.com. Students at Bells Elementary are proving that small acts of kindness can make a big difference. Members of the Future Acts clubs in grades 3rd through 5th recently came together to create 150 birthday in a box kits for families in need. Each kit included everything needed to celebrate a special birthday: cake mix, frosting, candles, balloons, decorations, and simple baking instructions using common household items. After months of collecting and organizing donations from Bell's families, students were able to pack and donate more than 100 boxes to Angels Community Outreach in Pittman, while additional kits were shared with elementary schools throughout Washington Township. Their compassion, teamwork, and generosity helped bring joy to those in need in our community. Members of the Orchard Valley Junior Thespian Troupe recently represented their school at the New Jersey State Junior Thespian Festival in Toms River, joining theater students from across the state for a day of performances, workshops, and competitions. Students had the opportunity to learn from theater professionals, connect with other performers, and showcase their talents through both group and individual events. The troupe performed a musical selection from their spring production of Mean Girls and earned a superior rating for their performance. Several students also received superior rankings in individual thespies for their musical theater performances. 6 Washington Township High School students were recently accepted into the New Jersey All-State Choirs for the 2026-2027 school year. Savannah Cox, Luciana DeVenti, Joy Umay, and Courtney Waddington will perform in the All-State Mixed Chorus in November 2026 during the New Jersey Education Association Teacher Convention in Atlantic City. Sonia Teresco and Meddy Tuckey will perform in the All-State Treble Chorus in February of 2027 during the New Jersey Music Educators Association Conference in Atlantic City. Both of the groups will have a second performance at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark. Interact Club at the high school hosted their annual Festival of Friends event on May 17th in the Core Main parking lot at Washington Township High School. It was an event geared towards students with special needs, and different school clubs, as well as future acts from the middle schools, showed up with crafts and fun activities for the kids to do at the festival. Additionally, Interact will be having Monzo on Friday, May 29th to raise awareness for ALS. I did not have the opportunity to meet with the high school students face-to-face. However, I did have the opportunity to send out a Google form consisting of 2 questions asking students one thing they think our school does well and one thing they'd like to see improved. Under the areas of improvement, students shared these points. A student had expressed that there have been new lights installed at the school that are very bright. Other students expressed concerns about the budget and how we can make sure we keep all of our classes, clubs, and teachers, as well as sharing that it would be better if there were more opportunities to showcase student achievements in clubs and activities. Another student had said they would like to see an improvement in how we motivate students to do different activities and keep their motivation going throughout the day. There have been some concerns about pest control at the high school, and we have made administration aware, and they are actively working to solve this issue. Under the category of what our school does well, some of the responses were that having many clubs and sports for everyone to get involved in makes everyone feel included. Students reported that everyone at the high school is really kind and supportive of one another, and that the teachers and staff are very good at communicating with their students. Another student mentioned that admins are always in the halls saying hello and making sure everyone is happy and doing well. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Gianna. Thank you. All right, now we're going to hear from Mr. Distilio. He's the Director of Data Technology, Registration, and School Community Outreach. So he'll have an update for us. Thank you, Mr. Distilio.
Thank you, Ms. Blum. I'd like to make a plug for the WTEF Annual Golf Classic. So since 1996, school officials and community leaders have partnered to grow and strengthen the WTEF. To date, the foundation has contributed over $1.1 million to support impactful initiatives that include professional development, multicultural programs, student art galleries, dance studios, greenhouses, and the like. The WTEF has also proudly supported the high school marching band, project graduation, and awarded over 500 mini grants to staff members to enhance classroom and enriching student learning experiences. That is why your continued support is so essential. Like all nonprofits, The WTEF relies on fundraising to sustain and expand its mission. Our first 28 golf classics have been a tremendous success thanks to the generosity of corporate sponsors, individual golfers, and our dedicated volunteers. I want to make a plug that on June 22nd, 2026 at the White Oaks Country Club in Newfield, New Jersey, we are going to have that golf classic. Its registration and lunch is going to begin at 10:30 till about noon, and at noon it's a shotgun start in a scramble format. There are hole-in-one prizes at various holes. There's also gift baskets that most of the PTOs and schools are supporting. We could use all your support to ensure these mini grants continue. The WTEF does amazing work, and I want to make sure that they are recognized and we support them properly. A couple things that are happening this weekend on June 3rd at 7 p.m. at Washington Lake Park. The Birches Elementary School Chorus is going to present The Colors of the Rainbow, and they're encouraging you to bring chairs and picnic blankets to enjoy the show. Similarly, the following night on June 4th at 7:30 p.m., Hertville Elementary Chorus is going to present Dreams Under the Stars at Washington Lake Park as well. On May 16th, the annual Take Steps Walk for Crohn's Disease and Colitis Awareness took place at Citizens Bank Park. Students, staff, and families from Bells Elementary School joined Team Emma's Dilemmas to show support for their fourth grade teacher, Miss Emma Avis. With all of their support, Team Emma's Dilemmas was the largest team in attendance and was recognized as the top fundraising team. As a reward, the team was granted access to the behind-the-scenes tour of the Phillies facilities. The team was able to walk on the field, tour the batting cages, tour the dugout, and see the Phillies clubhouse. It was a beautiful night full of love, support, and a night they will cherish and the memories to come. Tomorrow, from 12 to 9 p.m. at Rita's Water Ice on Egg Harbor Road, there is a fundraiser in support of Birches, specifically the Urbina family. As you know, Nathan lost his life to a battle with cancer a few weeks ago, and this is an effort to raise funds for that cause. BHMS is having an ice cream social fundraiser at Steele's Water Ice on May 28th from 5:30 to 8:30. That's on Fries Mill Road. Birch's Castaway Cove wristband fundraiser is going to be on May 30th. Order through, I guess it was yesterday, but 1 to 4 p.m. That's going to be at the Ocean City Boardwalk. And the WTHS Band Color Guard Stocks Pound Cake fundraiser is now through June 2nd. Make sure you get those orders because it's on a first come, first serve. Birch's is also having a dine and donate on June 3rd. And Bell's is having a dine and donate at Split Milk on June 11th as well. And that seems to be about all the ice cream fundraisers I have here. So thank you, Ms. Blum. That concludes my presentation here.
Thank you, Mr. Distilio. Under correspondence, may I have a motion to approve E1 letters of discipline? There are no correspondences at this time.
So moved. Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carried. Under approval of minutes, may I have a motion for approval of the minutes for the month of April 2026?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can you just have the record show I'm going to abstain from the executive from 421 because I wasn't there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Scott. Okay, that was our discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carried. Under old business, I have a few things here, but is there anyone else on the board that has anything under old business? Go ahead, Scott.
I just want to clarify the vote on the resolution, because I said no and I heard a lot of gasp and look. I completely agree it's a big issue. I think the rising healthcare costs, nobody's going to debate that that's an issue. I kind of feel like the governor and the state legislator already know it's an issue. I didn't agree with some of the wording in there about immediate demands for injunctive relief, et cetera. So that's why I voted no, but I completely agree it's a big issue, and I hope that the governor and the state legislature do something about it. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Scott.
I just want to shout out about the wonderful banquet the other evening. think it was like 250 students were at the honors banquet. It was an amazing celebration, and we have board members here that had students that were receiving the awards and board members that also showed up. It was a fantastic evening and celebration.
Yes, it was nice, and the rain stayed away while we were leaving and coming, which was wonderful.
Pat, can I just piggyback?
Sure.
So we had, 250 kids that had a weighted GPA of 90 and above, which is just outstanding. And over 200 kids came to the actual event, which was really great. A lot of parents, a lot of, family members. It was just a great experience. They can't house us really anywhere. Masso's, had the back big tent that was there. So they struggled to house all of our kids, but it was wonderful. And we also had the top 5 as well that last week. So our top 5 children at the high school, top 5 seniors were recognized as well, with the top 5 of all the other Gloucester County districts.
Fran.
You mean Barb?
Barbara.
Barb? No, yeah. So the two people that ran the event for the honors, Barb and Alex, did a fabulous job in putting everything together. They really did, from top to bottom, from the decorations to the awards to picking out an incredible guest speaker that really had a great message to share with everybody. It was just a great night. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, I have a few things here. For our strategic planning committee, Julie, hate to put you on the spot, but where are, as I do it, where are we going? What do you have in mind now that we're through the budget process?
Oh, okay. The business office is, this office is scheduling them to come out and give us.
Okay, will that be sometime in June, I hope?
We can certainly try.
If that's what you guys want to do, if you want to do the full board.
Yes, yes. Okay, so that's where we stand with that. That's a big undertaking for the district. And the other question I had was, in some of the committees, they've talked about RFPs and renewals. We've never really discussed that as a board, and the clock is really ticking. We're getting to the last minute, because I think they have to be awarded July 1st, correct? So is there any discussion of that, what the board wants to do about RFP renewals?
You want to take it, Ginny? I mean, we have a policy about that, especially for the professional services ones, right? We discuss those typically in November, just because it takes such a long time to put the RFP out. So usually in November, we would have a discussion about, anybody have any concerns about any of them that aren't necessarily up for the 3-year rotation cycle?
Yep.
But I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Yeah, so recently we amended the policy to start the discussion in November. So that happens in November, and we talk about the professionals that are up on the 3-year cycle at that time. We talk about it again in January and February, just to make sure any new board member, if there's a new board member that wasn't around, in the previous November, and then we go from there. So this year, because there was a couple years where we did more than 3, there was only one. That was our insurance, not health insurance. And we are in the process of, since we're part of joint insurance funds, the way that you go out and get quotes is to do applications. So we just finished up all of our applications, so we can get quotes from multiple joint insurance funds. And then we'll present all of those and pick the best one.
Is that basically through the business committee where you discuss all that? Okay.
Yeah, but we, sorry. So we do it for sure in the business committee, but one of the things that we've been doing is, again, like going back to November, we talk about it in the business committee first, but then it becomes an executive session item for the full board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else on that from anyone? Okay, just wanted to go through that. Any other discussion on anything?
Can I just say, I would be upset if I didn't say it. During the presentation, I actually was moved. I'm not known to be a crier or cry about things, but I actually felt emotional watching Trish talk about the school. There was so much love that
shone off of her. Like I was so impressed. And you knew every kid's name and you could pronounce them all. I'm very, very impressed. And the enthusiasm of the teachers and the staff was contagious. TJ should be extremely proud of themselves. And you obviously had an amazing role on the school. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Anything else? Okay, we're going to open to the public. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I'm going to try to do them a little bit in the order that I got them. Jill Alderman.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jill Edelman. I come before you tonight to express through a letter that I've already submitted to the board. As a substitute nurse in multiple districts, I feel compelled to express my concerns for the most recent changes expected in the health office of the Washington Township Schools. First, I must express my love and desire to continue in this role. As a long-term emergency trauma nurse, safety is my most important concern for all, whether it be in an inner-city emergency room or our schools. Where our schools are concerned, identification of all students is crucial. Elementary school students often only know their first names, yet the younger ones may also be hard to understand. Early in the school year, the nurse and the health assistant get to know the students. As a sub-nurse covering an office, I would not have the opportunity to know all the children, and the knowledgeable health assistants are crucial to the proper identification of the children. Also at this level, kindergarten, first grade, and special needs students always need to be escorted back to their rooms, again, for safety. Without a health assistant, who will be the escort? The health office cannot and should never be vacant, and we could never leave a child in the office to escort others back. Health assistants who have spent time in the same school and health office also gain a relationship with the older children, which can often lend comfort to the student when a substitute nurse is in the office. This is at any level due to the many topics of concerns that come to the health office. There have been many times when a mature issue comes to the health office. There should be 2 adults along with the student, again, for everyone's safety. I also believe it is very important to understand that anyone can't sit in the health assistant's chair. It's a very specialized position with the need for a person who understands medical care. They don't have to be a nurse, they don't have to be an EMT or even a medical assistant, but they do have to have an understanding of the goings-on. Where the thought process is concerned, a person in that chair needs to be qualified, not just years of service in the lunchroom or the playground. Please consider these concerns and perhaps give some thought to not changing the health...
Go ahead. Finish. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. Not changing the health assistant's position as they are so well prepared. It is my belief that it is in the best interest and safety of the students. Our nurses and health assistants' value is not what we do, it's what we are prepared to do. I respectively submit my concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Alderman. All right, next would be Mrs. Kosar.
Good evening, everybody. Chrissy Kozar, Washington Township support staff. I'm going to follow on from these ladies that just stood up here, and I would just like to read the job description of our health assistants from the beginning of the school year before it was changed. So the job description was, the title was health aide, qualifications were high school graduate, good rapport with young people, typing ability desirable, filing and record keeping ability, some previous office experience helpful, have an understanding of confidentiality that is necessary to maintain when one has exposure to confidential records, and a good moral character. The performance responsibilities were, and I will list 4 of them because there are only 4 of them. Receptionist duties, mainly daily log, maintain a daily log, maintain bulletin board and health education resource information, set up and put away testing equipment, make appointments for parents, teachers or pupil conferences. General illness and injury duties, administer minor first aid under the supervision of the school nurse, take temperatures, clean thermometers, collect information for accident reports, assist students in preparation for being sent home. Number 3 was screening duties, send referrals and keep nurse informed of follow-ups. And number 4 was clerical duties, handle correspondence, reports, lists, requisitions, etc., record objective facts on health records, supply restock when necessary and maintain inventory, and take incoming calls and messages. And for many years we had the same job description for our health aides. I think these were actually done in 1992, so a little while ago. So these were the prerequisites and the requirements of our nurses' assistants up until the beginning of the school year last year. At that time, they were mostly full-time employees that received benefits, health coverage and pension, until the job description was changed later in the school year. And I'm going to leave you with that because my colleague will come up and read part 2. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Kozar. The one thing I would like to correct is I don't think that they were full-time. I think they were 5.75 or they were 3.5.
There were 2, they didn't have benefits?
No.
None of them were
No.
dropped from benefits? Okay.
But thank you.
I
Thank
take that
you.
back, I beg your pardon.
Okay, and Mrs. Muller?
Good evening, everyone. What Chrissy is passing out to you now is a copy of the old health assistant job description as well as the new job description. As you can see, it has gone from a 2-page document to a 4-page document. Not only have you increased their workload, but now you have given them even less time to accomplish their duties. If there is a child who needs a diaper change and there is no health assistant in the building, who will change the student's diaper? You cannot use another assistant in the building as they are already assigned to another student. I would like to read the new job description for the health assistants. Their qualifications and skills: high school diploma or equivalent required, post-secondary coursework in health, child development, or related field preferred, current CPR, AED, and first aid certification required, or ability to obtain within 60 days of hire. Experience working with children in an educational, medical, or child care setting is preferred. Demonstrated ability to maintain confidentiality in accordance with district policy, FERPA, and HIPAA. Strong interpersonal communication and organizational skills. Ability to work effectively with students, parents, staff, and outside agencies. I asterisk this one because this one's the important one. Physical ability to lift, transfer, and assist students as needed, including toileting and personal care. Good moral character. Their job summary is to assist the certified school nurse in providing health services that support student well-being, safety, and readiness to learn to ensure the efficient operation of the school health office. These are their key responsibilities. Greet and assist students, staff, and families in the health office. Maintain daily logs, student sign-in, and health office records. Assist in maintaining bulletin boards and health educational resources. Set up, clean, and put away testing or screening equipment. Schedule appointments and conferences for parents, students, and staff as directed. Provide minor first aid under the supervision of the school nurse. Assist in taking vitals, including temperatures and maintaining equipment as assigned by the school nurse. Assist in collecting information for accident and incident reports. Support the school nurse in care of students who are ill or injured until they can return to class, go home, or receive further care. Provide assistance with student toileting, diapering, hygiene, and personal care needs with dignity and respect following universal precautions and district protocols. Assist with health procedures delegated by the school nurse as appropriate. Monitor students with chronic health conditions as directed by the nurse and respond to symptoms or emergencies per individual health plans. Assist the school nurse with vision, hearing, height, weight, and other mandated screenings. Send referrals and maintain follow-up documentation. Record and update health records, including immunization and medical information. Prepare correspondence, reports, requisitions, and lists as directed. Maintain and restock health office supplies, keep inventory records. Answer telephones, take accurate messages, and communicate with parents as directed by the school nurse. Assist the school nurse with scheduling of students for screenings.
Okay, Mrs. Muller?
I'll be back.
Could you come back?
Yes, I'll
we
be
have
back.
2 more pages. Thank you. And our last person is Mary Bonace. Bonace, I'm not sure if I'm saying. Okay, thank you.
I'm Mary Bonace. Only got 3 minutes, so I'm going to hit the highlights. Good evening, everyone. I'm here today. I'm a resident of Sewell, property taxpayer, and a proud grandparent. This is concerning the election at the Whitman PTO. I know I dropped off a packet this morning that was supposed to be given to everybody, and emails were sent out. Ms. Bloom, we appreciate your getting back to Candace with some sort of response. I have to tell you, I think they broke every law or every rule in Roberts that there is. They had the complete absence of bylaw authority. The bylaws explicitly restrict organizational meetings to scheduled monthly meetings and regular scheduled meetings. They went to a 3 voting sessions. They actually became a polling station. There was no meeting called. They ran from 8 to 8:30, again from 3 to 3:30, or 3:30 to 4, excuse me, and 6:30 to 7. She called it a meeting, but it wasn't a meeting. They did not have a legal quorum. There was no membership debate allowed, so they actively suppressed member debate on any kind of floor issues. When points of orders were made, they actually dialed 911. They called the police on members. You know, I could read from these all day. You all got a copy, I hope. They were brought in this morning and emails were sent. This is a shame. And these women look to the board here now to correct this. There is no way this election should stand. No way. Every rule has been broken. The bylaws are clear. They didn't follow any of them. Not a one. Everyone's looking to you for help. We've got ladies here who have worked their butt. I'm proud of them. Darn proud of them. We're prepared now. They are prepared. We're going to subpoena those under the Open Records Act, those 911 calls. You don't call on your members. Any of you ever called 911 when someone made a point of order? No, I think not. We're also filing a complaint with the New Jersey Department of Education, Bureau of Controversies and Disputes. We were hoping, we met with Dr. Hibbs. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate your time. Gentleman you sent tonight was wonderful. Appreciate him as well. But you guys got to stop this. Needs stopped.
Thank you, Mrs. Bonet. We have another speaker, so could we have that before we talk more about it? Okay, so I'm going to ask Mrs. Schwartz to come up.
Sorry, I'm not a good public speaker, so you have to bear with me. Okay, so my name is Candace Schwartz, and I'm standing before you tonight to place on the formal record serve undeniable breach of election integrity, physical security, and basic membership rights that occurred at the very start of this morning's voting session. An election in the most fundamental exercise of democracy in our association. For an election to be valid, it must be fair, transparent, and according to Robert's Rules of Order, Section 45.2, it must ensure absolute ballot secrecy. What I personally witnessed today and experienced at the elementary school this morning did not just fall short to meet these standards, it was completely subverted them. We're here with a clear timeline, photographic evidence, and audio recordings that cannot be ignored. Let's look at the facts. This morning, the public voting session was scheduled to open at 8 a.m. At approximately 8:15, I walked into the school lobby to cast my vote, and I was only the third member to walk in there. When I went to put my ballot into the box, it was completely full of votes already. Not only was it full, it was a makeshift container. It looked like a shoebox, a standard cardboard box, completely unsealed, held together by nothing more than wrapped white paper with a slit cut in the top. The flimsiness of the box wasn't the most alarming part. When I looked, it was completely full. I couldn't even get my ballot in. It was so full. That's just basic math for you. I was the third voter in, and the entire box was already full. This means one of two things occurred. Either voting was conducted at an undisclosed secret time, completely hidden from the general public, or ballots were illicitly placed into that container before the doors even opened. This is a blatant violation, yet the response from the PTO leadership was shocking. Instead of addressing, when I went in there and did my points of order, they actively dialed 911 and called the police on me simply for exercising my right as a member. Actually, several people had called 911. I have the entire interaction fully recorded. I'm also going to be requesting the 911 calls. The school resource officer did come because he was the one that got the 911 call, thinking that there was an emergency at the school, and it was just me doing what I came there to do, which was to vote. Another thing that we need to look into that was a huge, huge thing tonight is the teacher votes. In our bylaws, it clearly states that you must have a child in the homeschool, and I'm almost sure that ballot box was full of teacher votes. None of them have children in our school. It specifically says in our bylaws you must have a child within the school in order to vote. So why are we allowing teachers to vote that don't have children in our school? And I believe that's just unfair. And if that's the case, it needs to be put into our bylaws, or these bylaws are awful. There's such a gray area with everything, and that's how they were able to actually get Melissa over here, who tried to run for president. They told her no on numerous occasions for multiple different violations that literally had nothing to do with anything.
Thank you, Mrs. Schwartz. Mr. Rapicio, solicitor?
Yeah, I would just like to address both the last two public comments that were made and just make it clear to the public that, and to the members of the parent-teacher organizations that your organization is an independent entity. It is separate from the Board of Education, and the board doesn't have oversight of your organization or your operational bylaws or how you elect your officers or conduct yourselves. That's all internal operations that are governed, amongst your own organization through those bylaws and through Robert's Rules of Orders, like you said, but within your organization. The Board of Education, within our own policies actually, indicates that we can only adjudicate disputes that confer authority to the board either by statute, by the State Board of Education, by contract, or by the board's own policy. And nothing within those four categories gives the Board of Education any power or oversight to adjudicate disputes of the parent-teacher organizations. What the board can do is recognize the parent-teacher organization to participate in school activities and confer permission for the parent-teacher organization to operate within the school's name, to raise funds, and to conduct certain activities on behalf of the students for the school. But we being the board or the district, has no oversight authority over your organization.
Okay. What you
do is withhold official district recognition of the May 26th PTO election. You can temporarily freeze the transition of PTO assets or school use. They're using school policy and breaking rules. This is egregious. We're not talking a rule here or there. I got a list.
Okay.
Tell the organization to schedule a single unified general membership meeting. They're using public facilities and putting forth such egregious violations.
We have a second time that you can speak. We're really not supposed to go back and forth. So if you would like to fill out another card for our other session, that would be fine.
Thank you. I didn't know I could.
That's fine. That's fine.
Thanks.
Anything else here? Yes. May I have a motion to close to the public?
So moved.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to know what we can and can't do as far as, support.
Well, that's something that
So if we have to
we
have
have to do the motion.
All right, that's fine.
If
If we have to have a
floor,
sidebar.
what's the motion? Second? It could be, you could have discussion on the motion.
Okay.
Right.
All right, let's have the motion.
I said so
We already
moved.
did it, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, we first seconded it.
Yeah.
So in favor?
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All right, now.
Aye.
She's complaining about Robert's rules, so I want to make sure we're following
Yes.
Robert's rules. I have the book. Go ahead.
I have questions that would probably be better off discussed in executive session. I mean, I know we can't take over control, tell them what to do, instruct them what to do, but can we mediate to an extent? And by mediate, I mean not take a side, but see to it that, whatever was done is just and fair, per the bylaws.
Our bylaws don't give us that authority. Our policies do not give us that authority. What we can do is recognize the organization, and then the policy does confer to the board the right to withdraw recognition of an organization that's organized within the district. I would, suggest that be used in extreme circumstances, because, ultimately, I think everybody wants for these organizations to benefit the students within the district, but that is the ultimate authority that the board would be to withdraw recognition of the organization if it chose to do so. And I think, Dr. Hibbs, if he wants to, can comment briefly upon, what he did to try to help facilitate some of these disputes.
Yeah. Hi, ladies. We had a great meeting. It was a very respectful meeting. And out of that meeting, I left with two main concerns. The two main concerns that I had were, number one, I had concerns with the bylaws, but they're not my bylaws. And there's specific language in there that I felt could have been interpreted one of two ways. And it essentially focused on the concept of the prior fiscal year and when someone could run. And I brought up in the meeting with the executive board that exact comment. I don't know if this was shared with you or not, but they had a legal take that that the prior fiscal year was the year immediately preceding. So, and all of the things that you brought, I want you to know, all went to Nick, and who's our attorney, which is where they need to go. The second thing that I had a question on was the concept of the nomination forms, because it did not appear that they initially were filled out correctly. And my concern was if you can't run for an office if there's not a nomination form. So that triggered the rescheduling of the voting. And then the concept of the legal letter, whether I agreed or disagreed, I'm not going to comment on. They had a legal letter stating what a legal opinion. So I took everything to Nick. We had a conversation about it, and Nick summarized it, I think, perfectly before. I totally understand that you have concerns, and I think, unfortunately, those concerns aren't something that probably that we are best suited to address.
I think we're simply not authorized to, we don't have the power, we're not conferred with the authority to address those concerns that you're bringing forward.
Okay, any other? Okay, we're going to move on to the report of the superintendent. Motion second to approve report of the superintendent, items 1 through 3. Discussion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion, anyone? Okay, if not, we'll have the roll call.
Mrs. Hartong?
Yes.
Ms. Kazempel?
Yes.
Mr. LaLiberty?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mrs. Schechter?
Yes.
Mr. Serrano?
Yes.
Mrs. Clancy?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes. Motion carried. Into instructional affairs, motion and second to approve instructional affairs, items 1 through 3.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Okay, roll call.
Ms. Kazempel?
Yes.
Mr. LaLiberty?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mrs. Schechter?
Yes.
Mr. Serrano?
Yes.
Mrs. Clancy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hartong?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes. Okay, motion carried. Under policy, we have no items at this time. Student activities and communications, motion and second to approve student activities, communications, items 1 and 2.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. LaLiberty?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mrs. Schechter?
Yes.
Mr. Serrano?
Yes.
Mrs. Clancy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hartong?
Yes.
Ms. Kazempel?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes. Okay, motion carried. We're moving on to human resources. Mrs. Clancy, did you want to go over the retirements before we do that?
Yep. Okay, Susan, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced the last name, Cleaver or Clever. She was the Secretary of Sales and served the district for approximately 24 years. Also, Karen Moore, Specialized Assistant at Birch's, and she served for 26 years. Congratulations on your retirement.
Can I just talk about someone?
Sure.
Karen Moore, who is retiring. If you've had the chance to work with her, you are a blessed person. She is an amazing assistant. I can't picture how Birch's MD room is going to survive without her. I mean, she worked under Mrs. Cox. I've worked with her. She's a great travel agent if you're looking to travel. Had me a trip booked to Mexico in 24 hours. We are truly losing an amazing assistant with so much knowledge. It's sad to see her go, but I'm glad she is going to enjoy her retirement, but use her for a travel agent.
And Mrs. Moore and girls, I taught both of your daughters, and before you were an assistant, you used to help me out in my classroom. And we've recently reconnected, not really, but 2 of our daughters have children in the same Brownie troop. So that's been a reconnection, but I wish you the best too in your retirement. Okay, motion and second to approve human resources items 1 through 69.
Motion. Second.
Discussion?
So I just have one item. That's more conceptual here. So on M14, that's approval for online instructors for the personal financial literacy. I guess my question and concern with personal financial literacy and having that online, and maybe this is something we could take to the Instructional Affairs Committee. I mean, this is probably one of the most important topics that we can teach high school seniors, is financial literacy. For example, if these kids were told, we live in America, everyone has the opportunity to become a millionaire, right? By age 25, if you put $22,000 into an IRA and didn't touch it until you're 65, take a guess how much money that is. It's $1 million. If you don't make it by 25, at 30, you put away $35,000. That's $1 million of 65. And if by 35 you didn't get there, you get 57,000 away in an IRA, it's $1 million. So have your kids first couple years bank that money, and they're going to be millionaires. Just things like concept of good debt, bad debt. I think these kids are graduating, and they don't see the financial future ahead of them. And to me, this is a topic that we should be really reinforcing in the classroom. And I guess IA maybe would be the place for it, but I just want to make sure we're not doing a disservice to the kids with this.
Yeah. And I want to make sure I'm speaking correctly. Trish and company, the kids that take this, they're choosing to do this, correct? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they choose that piece so they can move ahead with different courses, but we can certainly ensure and that those types of topics are fleshed out, whether it's in person or online, because kids absolutely do need to understand it. And having 3 kids who literally just went through this, and my middle child, my son, actively chose to not play lacrosse at Kane University and to come out with 0 debt, and he's living at home, and he's going to Rome, and he's going to come out with 0, and he'll hit the ground running, versus kids can come out now with $200,000 in debt, and they don't understand that really means that they're paying upwards of sometimes $2,000 a month, and I know because I had $100,000 in student loans. So it's a real thing that kids can't get out from under it.
I guess I have a question. I recognize that this is a required course, right, that we're requiring our seniors to take. Is this built into any of the earlier age curriculum?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
It's hard to have a conversation with an 18-year-old about a Roth IRA if an IRA is like a foreign concept, right? So as someone who sits with adults typically at benefits meetings and they still have no idea about, compounding, savings over time, I think even just starting at the high school levels, probably we need more engagement earlier on.
Okay, any other discussions?
If they don't get it in school, I don't know where they're going to get it. I mean, and it's something that, you can live without calculus. I was a math major, so I probably can say that because, calculus was my thing. But if you don't know how to save money and budget and manage debt, you're going to have a hard life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Roll call?
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mrs. Schechter?
Yes.
Mr. Serrano?
Yes.
Mrs. Clancy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hartong?
Yes.
Ms. Kazempel?
Yes.
Mr. LaLiberty?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes, motion carried.
Congratulations. Before we say congratulations, I want to recognize Joe. Joe, please stand. Give Joe a big hand, for all he's done for all these years. Joe, thank you so much. Bridget, give her a hand. Vice Principal at Wall. And this is Christina. Christina is going to be our supervisor of special services.
Congrats, Bridget. Happy for you. Congratulations. Happy for you. Welcome back.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Under Finance and Facilities, a motion and a second to approve Finance Facilities items 1 through 38.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion.
Jane, I want to thank you for updating that report, right?
Sure.
It's the new one? April?
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay. Ready for the roll call? Roll call.
Mrs. Schechter?
Yes.
Mr. Serrano?
Yes.
Mrs. Clancy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hartong?
Yes.
Ms. Kazempel?
On item 6, I have to abstain from PO 2603654 because it's not for me. So initials JK, yes to the rest.
Mr. LaLiberty?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes, motion carried. Under negotiations, we have nothing at this time. Under new business, I have a little bit, but does anybody else? Oh, it's special education, sorry. Motion and second to approve special education, items 1 and 2.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Serrano?
Yes.
Mrs. Clancy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hartong?
Yes.
Ms. Kazempel?
Yes.
Mr. LaLiberty?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mrs. Schechter?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes, motion carried. Negotiations, there's nothing. New business, is there any new business on the part of any board member? Because I have a few things here. I'll find my letter. Oh, okay.
I just want to thank Lori for updating our calendar for the year-end events. Thank you, Lori.
Okay. All right, this first thing I have is just a long statement that I have to read in public, so bear with me. I'm not sure that you'll understand everything, but you'll reach out, I'm sure, if you have questions. Pursuant to Board Policy Number 0155 and consistent with the manner in which board committees are generally established by the board, I am forming a board standing committee to address certain personnel matters involving the superintendent. This committee is being formed because a majority of the board presently has conflicts with respect to the personnel matters involving the superintendent. The committee is being created consistent with guidance from the New Jersey School Ethics Commission, recognizing that where conflict affects a majority of a board, a non-conflicted members may work with the board attorney to address matters while conflicted members refrain from deliberative involvement. Although policy 0155 generally provides that the board president and superintendent can serve as ex officio committee members, neither the superintendent nor I will serve on this committee. The superintendent will not serve because the committee is being formed specifically to address personnel matters involving the superintendent. I will not serve because I am conflicted regarding matters involving the superintendent. Or accordingly, I delegate my involvement concerning this committee to Vice President Terry Schechter, who shall serve as committee chair if she accepts the appointment. Board members Elaine Clancy and Scott LaLiberty shall also serve as committee members if they accept the appointment. The committee is charged with working directly with board counsel to identify and address outstanding personnel matters involving the superintendent. In consultation with board counsel, the committee shall determine whether any matters require presentation to the full board for consideration and official action. To the extent official board action becomes necessary, any conflicts prevent board participation, matters may be presented to the full board consistent with the applicable School Ethics Commission's guidance and, if legally appropriate, the doctrine of necessity. The committee shall operate as in an advisory capacity only and shall not exercise authority on behalf of the full board. Mrs. Schechter, do you agree to chair this committee?
Yes. Thank you, President Bloom.
Yes. Mrs. Clancy and Mr. Liberty, do you agree to serve on this committee?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. That's
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Was the full board not told about this before now because we're conflicted? Is that, I'm just wondering why I'm just now hearing about it. Is it because I'm conflicted on Dr. Hibbs?
Yeah, there's no discussion right now because of the conflicts, but this is also the board president establishing the committee consistent with her authority under the board policies to establish committees. So similar to when we establish committees during the reorg meeting, I mean, that's not the only time, you know, that the board president can exercise that authority, but the board president's creating the committee to address these issues at this time.
And this is in the best interest of everyone
So
participating.
Pat, this is a committee of, I'm sorry,
No, I'm surprised and confused. Go ahead.
this is a committee of 3 because the rest of us are conflicted.
Yes.
So who do they report to?
Well, our solicitor will be involved, and I guess the group will report back if need be.
Correct. Any matters that require official action will be presented to the full board.
So if they don't think we have any matters, but the rest of us do, we can't discuss it.
If the committee needs, if any of the committee's actions need, if there's board authority or board action that needs to be taken, they'll work with me and we'll make sure it gets presented to the board through the appropriate channels, whatever
So
is
the full
consistent
board-
with the guidance of the School Ethics Commission. But going beyond that, I want to caution that we don't go too far into the conversation here and now, because it's the exact reason that the committee's being formed, is that many of the members sitting at many of the board members, you know, sitting in the room tonight are conflicted and we're not to have these conversations.
So you're saying a committee of 3 makes the decision?
No, that's not at
Well,
all.
what are you saying?
That's not at all what President Bloom stated with respect to creating the committee. She, I believe, one of the very last points she made in making the statement is that the committee will not bind the full board, and that it's advisory only.
So if that committee comes back and says, we don't have anything, we don't have any problems, it stops there.
Ralph, maybe you ought to ask Nick in private. What do you think?
So I'll just state my understanding, Nick, and you can tell me if this is correct or incorrect based on what you've told me. My understanding is regardless of the forum, executive or open, we're restricted in conversing about this as a group based on the conflicts present.
I'm going to say it's always going to be dependent upon the subject matter that's being raised and the totality of the circumstances on each individual scenario. Will have to be analyzed under each individual scenario, but President Bloom is creating this committee in an attempt to, I guess, help facilitate some of those conflict issues that have been presented to the board.
Nick, can you just explain again why we're conflicted?
My understanding is that conflicts arise from 5 of the board members due to ongoing litigation in which the board members have been named individually as parties to the lawsuit, and that lawsuit involves the superintendent. It's been filed by the superintendent. One of those 5 also has a relative working in the district, so I'm talking about President Bloom at this time. She is conflicted on both accounts because of the litigation, as well as having a relative in the district. And then Ms. Hartong is a 6th board member who is conflicted because of having a relative working in the district.
Okay, so because we were named in a lawsuit, we can't have any conversations about the superintendent's evaluation, merit pay, contract, none of that, because we were named in a lawsuit? Just to clarify, like bottom line.
It presents a conflict for personnel matters involving the superintendent. but each item should be evaluated on an individual basis going forward, and that's something, you know, that should go through the committee and then through my office, and it will be discussed, and if needed to, you know, presented to the board for official action.
I had a question, and I'm staring at you now, I can't remember what it was.
I have a question.
Fudge. So, yes, if I can ask, and but maybe I can, because it's not like a direct question, but, and if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But what exactly is this committee looking for? Is it what's the outcome? Like, what's the end game of the committee? Can I ask that?
You can ask the question. I don't necessarily know the answer. I am just saying that my understanding is President Bloom is forming this committee based upon various advisory opinions and guidance that's been issued by the School Ethics Commission in terms of how to proceed on personnel matters when conflicts such as those that exist here in this district are present.
Okay.
Right, I mean, this was the advice to form the committee, right? To even just do the basic requirements of like the evaluation.
Yeah, I
Linda,
don't
I
want to
have-
get into any specifics. We shouldn't have discussions on any
Linda, I can
specific
talk to
personnel.
you privately, but that would be helpful.
I have a
Yes,
question.
Steve.
Madam President, I heard you read that they will be consulting with council, but will he be present every time they meet? I want to confirm that he will be present for every meeting they set up as a committee, whether it be virtual, phone, or in person. Or is it going to be note-taking and then those notes being passed on to
Yeah,
the solicitor?
I'm happy to, Terry, I'll
I'm
turn it
happy
over
to make
you.
sure that we do not have conversations as a committee without Nick or someone from his firm present.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay. I have a few other things. Anybody else have anything under new business? Okay, the things I have are, the calendar. I've talked to Dr. Hibbs and some other people on the board. We've changed our last two meetings based on things out of our control, but there's a really strong opinion that we should try to stick to the calendar that we've created. So usually we redo the calendar in January. I'm just trying to get input from all of you. I don't know if we need to make a motion that we should work on that in June prior to the school district making its calendar for the year. For example, in my experience on the board, Powder Puff is always the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. While I've been on the board, the meetings have either been canceled or changed to a different night. If we know that that's the night for Powder Puff, or they know that's the night for the meeting, maybe we could do the Monday or they could do the Monday. They're the kinds of things I'm talking about, because it is hard for the public, and it's even hard for all of us. I mean, Mrs. Baker's had conflicts the last two meetings. It's hard when we try to take care of everybody as far as our members and staff, but adhere to our meetings, which we need to keep running according to a schedule. So I don't know if that's something we have to make a motion and vote on, or if Dr. Hibbs, you could help us facilitate that in June.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I think that we can look at the conflicts that have presented themselves that we can foresee and work around them. You know, the last one that we changed, we had the boys lacrosse team go into the county cup, which was a really big deal. And it was set to be a 96-degree day. The game got pushed to 7 o'clock. We did not win that game, sadly, but had we won the game, it was a really big deal for the kids and everybody involved. So I don't know that we'll be able to work around those types of things, but the things that we can work around, we can absolutely forecast around. You know, we can
So,
stay off of big chorus concerts.
I was just going to say, like, when all of the years I've been on PTOs for a very, very, very too long of a time. And we always had to meet with the principal in the summer. And we weren't allowed to plan anything when there was a high school event or a Board of Ed event. Maybe if we can go back to that, it might, or with your sister school. So like if you went to Whitman, you couldn't have something the same night as Bunker. Maybe if we can go back to that, it might solve some of our scheduling issues, and we won't have to ask parents to pick to either come to a board meeting or go to your kid's concert.
So, yeah, we can try. I think the problem that exists, well, I don't know that it would work entirely here. We can do our very best because we have so many buildings with so many events. There's always going to be something. But I think for the big events, we can really try to stay off of. For instance, when we had the course event just not that long ago, those types of things we can make no flies.
Right.
So we can just,
Thank
and
you.
honestly, if we just keep them off of
I was
Tuesdays,
just going to say, or can we just
Yeah.
say, we
Yeah.
districts can't have anything on Tuesdays?
yeah. Let me talk to the admin team. Trish and Annette, write that down. Yeah, we'll come back to you and report out. But I think that for the big things, we can work around.
So that would be good if we do that in June. That would be helpful before
Right.
the summer begins. The
Thank
other-
you, Pat, for bringing that up, because we
Yes.
had talked about that.
Yes, yes, you're welcome. The other thing I have was, and this is something Dr. Hibbs can help me with, I've had questions about job descriptions. Is there a way to look them up electronically if board members have questions about job descriptions?
So they're not forward-facing right now. If you have a question, we can get you whatever job description you want.
Okay, so that should be the way of
Yeah.
handling it?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think sometimes it helps, even tonight with the job description for the health assistants. I knew it had changed, but it's interesting to look at how it changed along the way. So that's something that.
We could also
would be
probably
nice.
create a shared drive that has them in there for you at a
Okay.
view only.
Okay.
I think that might, and that way you can just go right into your Google Drive.
Okay, that would be good,
We can
thank you.
can we make that a summer project? Is that okay? Mrs. Bloom, is that a summer project
Oh,
okay?
that would be wonderful,
Okay.
thank you. Did I have a card from, Mrs. Muller, did you have a card? I don't see your card right now, but please come up, I know I saw it at
Sorry,
one
just
point.
before we move to our second open,
should do the second.
as it relates to the calendar project, I know you just kind of mentioned sharing electronically, like a Google Drive. If there's a way for like the board calendar to be updated with a lot of the things, I mean, I know it might like crowd things, but I think it would just be nice to know what's going on where, and we could like see some of those events.
Okay, let me think about how best to do that.
Not to create an extra work, because I know they did a lot of work to put it on the website. Motion to open to the public?
Oh, I'm sorry, motion to open to the public,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, so I'm going to call up Mrs. Muller.
Okay, to finish where I left off. These are also the duties of the nursing assistants. They distribute flyers, health notices, and parent communications. They maintain confidentiality and security of student health records at all times. They follow district protocols for infection control and universal procedures, participate in professional development and trainings as required by the district, assist in maintaining a safe and supportive health office environment, perform other related duties as assigned by the certified school nurse or building principal. Their ancillary duties are support school wellness initiatives and health promotion activities, assist in staff training on universal precautions, infection control, student-specific health needs as directed by the school nurse. I know a lot of them also do the attendance in the buildings because the secretaries are busy doing other things. As far as that goes, this is a lot of things that they have to get done in one day in now 3.5 hours. I don't see how they can get it done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Muller. I'm going to call up Murray Bonace.
Well, I understand the point that the board's bylaws, but what I would really like to stress is the Whitman PTO exists to support educators and our children. Under parliamentary law, the results of today's election is inherently invalid. They utilize taxpayer-funded facilities. When an auxiliary board locks out the community, hides the books, violates its own constitution, it becomes a direct liability to this school system and this board. It makes you look bad. It makes the school system look bad. And I understand you guys got your own problems here. You got some big fish to fry. This is just a PTO. I've heard that too. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And I think that the New Jersey Educational Association has withheld funds because of their malfeasance. And I think the board should take some action as well, or at least look into it. You can withhold district recognition. You can't make them do anything. That's the members' job. The members have to rally and take over and take back control of the board. It's pretty hard to do, though, when you got a board that doesn't pay attention to their own bylaws. But you guys can do something. I disagree with you, Counselor. You can withhold district recognition. You can freeze the transition of any PTO assets, and you can compel them to schedule a meeting, whether your bylaws say so or not. Don't we have 2 members here who oversee Whitman? Or is that not something that's done here?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So if mediation would have happened in the beginning, but sometimes it's hard to mediate with somebody. You know, you have a no King's Day. We got a Queen's Day. We want a no Queen's Day at Whitman. The issue is an ego. Not mine, but the board. They don't run the PTO, the members do. The board, as you all do, you work for your members. And so should this board that they elected under extremely suspicious activity. The members were not involved. They didn't have a meeting. You have an election meeting. Everybody comes in? No. They had a poll taking. They were in the lobby. You had people.
Thank you,
in
Mrs.
and out.
Bonet. Your
Thank
time
you.
is up. Thank you. Ms. Whitcraft?
Hi. I just want to make sure I was following the committee formation correctly, and I had some questions. If a special committee just had to be formed because the majority of the board is conflicted due to him selecting certain members to name on his lawsuit, we have 9 elected officials chosen to represent our communities, so a quorum of 5 is needed to vote on matters involving the superintendent, correct? So in order for all elected representatives to vote, we need to invoke the doctrine of necessity. Or do we need to, never mind, that's not really a question. What is the timeline for this? What happens if these 3 don't bring it to a vote of the full board? Will the superintendent's contract hang in limbo like WTSA, WTPA, WTEA, or WTSSSPAs would should an agreement not be made? What generally happens with a contract in this kind of scenario? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Schechter. That would have to go with,
I mean, I don't really have anything to add except for what Nick stated, that we're working in accordance with the SEC, or the School Ethics Commission and state laws pursuant to the state laws.
thank you, Mrs. Schechter. Sorry, Mrs. Whitcraft, I called you by the wrong name. Okay, I think that's all the cards that I have. Anything else? Yes, Julie.
I was just going to say, could we bring the nursing job description, nurse assistant situation back to committee? Either personnel committee or budget committee, because just actually looking at the differences, in the job description before and after. I don't even, I would just rather reserve my comments for committee, but it looks like there is a lot that we're requiring these folks to do. And someone's going to have to do that. So I'd like to talk about it in committee and find out the exact figure, how much money we would need to bring these people back, and do we need to change the job description so that they're not responsible for doing all this stuff?
I would think you could do that in your
And maybe
committees.
we have a different position that comes in that
Right.
does, I don't know, but.
It's getting late on it, though.
Is it late
We
to do
better
it?
meet soon.
Well, I would think that June would be when we would deal with that.
Okay. Okay.
Is that okay?
Personnel?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not on personnel, but if anyone doesn't mind me sitting in on personnel, but yeah,
I
just
think
at least,
there may
at
be,
least if
there's
you
an
guys are
opening. You
discussing
can-
it, yeah.
Yeah, you can sit in.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it. Nothing else from the board? Okay.
I have a question, Pat. Is there a time when we have to let when the superintendent's contract, we have to let him know if we're renewing the contract?
I'm sure there's a contractual provision that deals with it, and there's statutory provision that addresses the issue as well, so.
If
do you
I
know-
remember correctly, there is that in the contract. It's already
Should we be
stated in the
talking about
contract,
this?
Yeah.
If I remember
no,
correctly.
This is
Yeah,
an item of discussion that is probably, not probably, it's an item of discussion that's not appropriate.
Well, it's
You know,
appropriate
before the
if we're
board at
past
this
the time.
I'm unaware of us being past any particular point in time, but, and by us, I mean the board and taking any action, so, there should be no discussion of any personnel matters involving the superintendent for the remainder of the board meeting.
Or just in general? Or anyone. But for the conflicted members.
May I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
Wait, motion to close to the public, or do we?
Yeah, motion to close the meeting.
Motion to
Oh,
adjourn.
look. Okay.
So,
This
I
is-
don't know. Who motioned to close to public?
Yes.
That was then done?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Yes, a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Motion